one of the reasons I partnered with Warren Moon was from the day I met him, the very first time he stopped me in a meeting and he said, "Hey man, can you just explain that to me?" And it resonated like, wow, this is one of my childhood heroes. And he is humble enough to say, I don't know. Welcome to Office Hours. I'm David Meltzer here at the SiriusXM studios in the nicest podcast studio or even TV studio that I've been in here in the lobby of the Wynn. And we're blessed to do the executive spotlight today with one of my favorite people. And we're
great.
blessed to have Daymond John here. And of course, everybody knows what an incredible entrepreneur, investor, marketer, salesperson he is. But I'm not sure a lot of people get to see, and I was blessed when I ran Lee Steinberg, the sports agency, who the good guys were. And one of the reasons I partnered with Warren Moon was from the day I met him, the very first time he stopped me in a meeting and he said, "Hey man, can you just explain that to me?" And it resonated like, wow, this is one of my childhood heroes. And he is humble enough to say, I don't know. And you show up for people when you don't have to. Of course, you're paid tons of money like I am to do stuff, and that's business. But I judge a man by when no one's looking, my experience with him. Mark Cuban, who's one of your friends as well. One of the things I love about Mark is I text him an invite. He immediately gets back to me. Faster than the people who say they're busy.
Beers and chips kind of guy, man.
Yeah,
that's it, man.
Exactly.
Thank you, man.
How important is that even today? Because I'm sure like you feel blessed every day to be in the position that you're in, coming from where you came from. How important is it still today just to be a good person?
I don't know. Is it important? I think it is. I mean, I want to leave a legacy for my kids. Diddy and Epstein and Cosby's kids can't go into a room anymore and say who they are. And I think that as any parent here, you know that you work your whole life and you'll give your life for your children, but will you actually, secure the ground that they'll walk on where it has nothing to do with money, right? Because money comes and goes. Being a good person, I just find that I feel good. I can sleep at night with that, and I try to over deliver for people. And so, because if I have to make tough decisions, I know that I feel confident in what I did the right thing. Sometimes I'll screw up. Sometimes maybe I didn't do the right thing, and I'll live with that. So I love being a good person. I think it's not that serious, and I think that I'm very open too. Somebody like, hey, I had to do this, and I'll be like, yo, man, listen, I just don't technically have time. You really want me to do it? I'll do it.
Yeah.
Right. And but being a nice person or a good person doesn't mean you're not a decision maker and you don't have to lay down the hammer sometime.
Of course, for the betterment and alignment with your non-negotiables. One of the other things is in the realm of relationships with time. You just mentioned something that became harder and harder. I was blessed to work with, our friend Gary Vee early on.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand, as he told me, he goes, someday, Dave, you're going to see that being this nice guy, you have to understand time because you don't have time to do certain things. And so I started to study time relative to circumstance. And my ability to sell became an ability to articulate not at this time and prioritize my time effectively. Have you learned any tips along the way as your brand has grown so big and the demand has grown so big to utilize time and prioritize it and also articulate it to others with that relationship?
I don't know if I articulate it to others as important as efficiently as I should, but the importance of time is based on the decisions you make. I believe that the 3 pillars to success, in whatever success is, it could be saving the turtles, whatever it is, right? I think it is knowing your why, setting goals to enforce those whys, and then doing the homework through the rest of your life to enforce those goals. But the issue where you save time is that if you really know your why, right, then why are you doing it, right? Are you doing it because of somebody else? Are you doing it because of what public perception is? Or are you doing it out of fear? right? Are you doing a career because your parents said that's what success is, right? So I'll give you an example. Somebody, one of the largest corporations in the world, offered me a $1.5 billion credit line. They said, hey, Daymond, all these companies out there, before the D&I started going away, they said they have mandates to make sure that they work with minority vendors internally. Forget the government. We're going to give you $1.5 billion credit line. We'll set an M&A person over with you. I want you to go and acquire companies like, let's say, this hotel, acquire a furniture company, this, go over to them and say, hey, I want to bid on all your work. I said, you know what? I'm 50, at that time I was 53. I said, that's a 20-year job with 20,000 people working for me. What would I do with the money in the business? Because now all of a sudden at that time my 5-year-old will be 25. I already didn't see my other girls growing up. I will no longer be the person who is as agile as I am. All right, at 50 something years old, I got a hot maybe 35 summers left. Good summers. Yeah. It's time. Most people would have been like 1.5. Big business, my name in lights. But what's that going to do for me, right? So it's really about how you maximize time. So that's a long thing of time. And the short thing looking at it is every day I read the same goals every night before I go to bed, the same goals every morning when I wake up. 6 of them expire in 6 months. The other 4 expire in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years. I read them in the morning when I wake up in the morning because I want to make sure that, and the 6-month ones I never hit. I said I'm so big that when I reset them, but they range from time with my faith, my family, my health, and my business. And what that does is that snatches my time in the morning to then have my mind thinking about those things in the day. And that becomes everybody else's problems or hopes and dreams become secondary to what I need to do. And that slowly grabs my time. And then I reset it I just reset every 6 months.
In utilizing time, there's another relationship in what I call the reconciliation between our human experience compared to this infinite spiritual inspired journey that we all live. And in order to get to where you are or better, you have to have some sort of relationship in time from the human experience to the infinite. But the relationship with money also intertwines in there. And you may not know this about me, is when I lost over 100 million in 2008, I didn't lose my relationships. I didn't lose the dummy tax that I paid. And so I was very intentional and had a definite purpose. And I came here to the Win, to Larry Rouveau's gala, which I'd been to before in the sports world, for one purpose: to go meet with Mr. Win. No matter where he was, I was going to ask him one question: can you mentor me on your relationship with money? Because I've always made money. I grew up with nothing, 9 months out of law school, millionaire, 100 million by the time I was 30. Making money is not my energetic blockage.
Right.
Buying things for the right reason was a huge problem. And I didn't know it until Mr. Wynn said, here's my cell phone. Make sure you're concise with your questions. You call me anytime. And my relationship with money over the last 18 years has changed, which has led me to be mission-based, and the commissions keep following compared to the commission-based David Meltzer that had trouble keeping the commissions. Your relationship with money, you obviously have a very healthy one, dictated by the story you just told me and the values you have. Is there any type of insight that you can give me and our audience about that relationship for those people that may struggle making it or keeping it?
Well, making it is hard because there's a lot of people in different circumstances that are forced to do what they have to do, but it's a normal 80-20, right? They have to keep the lights on. They have to keep medicine in their family and food. But what are they doing simultaneously to put that 20% of an investment in it? Like we look at today's social media, or we look at today's AI. A lot of people are thinking that this is just casual. There's going to be blood in the streets, hands down blood in the streets, right? All corporations are moving towards it. You look at Forever 21 the other day, Party City. What's going to happen is that the communication, the ability to communicate is going to purely move into this new world, robots or various other things. So whether you're flipping burgers or whether you're working in a retail, those places may not exist, so there may be a robot there. It's not
or
that
behind
AI.
the camera.
Of course, it's not that AI is going to replace you. It's going to be the people who understand AI is going to replace you, right?
Great
and
point.
so if you are right now, thinking your job is secure and you're not investing in understanding more about AI, agentic, and all these type of things, or even biohacking and various things, you don't see that pay off until 3, 4, 5, 10 years down the road, because like you said, the dummy tax has already been paid. But if people are very transactional and superficial, it's kind of like telling somebody, go to the club. Well, you can either sell me a drink or you can sell me a table. I'm trying to look for the table, right? The long version.
Yep.
And so that has been my relationship with, making money. In regards to utilizing it once I have it, it goes back to the initial thing. What am I doing? How is it working for me when I'm sleeping? And how am I putting other investments in there, small little ones? A lot of people, they don't know about business. They think that all this venture and all these kind of investments are huge investments you put out. Now, I understand $5,000, $50,000 is a lot of money to most people. Most people don't make more than $50,000 a year. But putting all these little small investments, $100, $200, $3,000, and making it work for you, you turn around and in 20 years, it's a massive amount. So I just look at very small incremental changes personally and small incremental investments, and all the time keep educating myself and seeing how do I monetize it.
Once again, the ethics and principles of Napoleon Hill. I'm blessed to be the chairman of Napoleon Hill Institute now, and always looking for great leaders like Daymond that portray and amplify the basic seminal information that Napoleon Hill had, both for personal and professional development. Last question. You probably have more deal flow than any other human being on earth, or at least in the top 5.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious, is there a company out there today that really excites you, something that, caught your eye that you could tell us about?
I love the company Symbiotica, because I'm heavy into biohacking and longevity these days. I did tell you I'm going to hawk you a light that my buddy, the McClures did. They got over 3.5 billion views, and they're content creators. But it's really, I think Symbiotica is one of the ones that I like. I love all the stuff into the biohacking space. Maury, anybody we have at the top of our head? Guru Nanda. I love the oil pulling.
Yeah.
That guy, Guru Nanda. And of course, I can go here forever on my Shark Tank companies for sure. But I really like the Symbiotica one, because I'm just, is this company about the, nutraceuticals, its health, and that's the one that comes to mind. I didn't expect to think of any companies off the top of my head.
Well, I love it. And I always say my frequency is my neighborhood, and love to be Mr. Rogers in a higher frequency in a great neighborhood. Anytime we can attract someone like Daymond John into our executive spotlight, what a blessing you are to so many entrepreneurs.
You're a blessing. Come on, you're out there giving it to people every single day. You could be doing anything else. You love what you do.
Exactly.
And
people ask me all the time, why do you do it? I'm like, if I had a choice to golf all day or to do this, I'm doing this.
You love it, right?
Exactly.
And it's funny because you'll be like, hey, D, we're doing a dinner here. We're doing a dinner there. People have no idea all the behind the scene things you do to pull people together. At the end of the day, my mentor, Jay Abraham, because just like you,
yes.
I go out to much of mentors, right? Jay Abraham and Tony Robbins. They tell you just keep giving, because they will come for you. Right.
Eventually.
And if you keep giving, you know what, your intellectual property and your equity in investing in people will always come back. At the end of the day, you'll learn more than anybody else.
So blessed. A modern day Napoleon Hill. I am blessed to be here with Daymond John. I'm David Meltzer. This is Executive Spotlight with Office Hours.